book is broken up into three different portions:
Yes.
surviving Hitler, surviving Stalin, and then surviving revolution. Let's start with the surviving Hitler. And at 4 years old, you learned how to lie.
Well, if I hadn't learned how to lie, I'd not be sitting here now talking to you. It was very simple. I was told that if anybody asked me what my religion was, I was Christian, because if I said I was born Jewish, I'd get killed, and my mother would get killed, and my sister would get killed. So it was a life-preserving instinct that taught me to say, no, I'm Christian.
And your mother had to travel to get you fake birth certificates, and in that process, you almost were killed by Nazi officers.
In the process, while she was away getting these, by the way, they were real birth certificates offered to us by a housekeeper who could no longer work for us because she was Christian and you couldn't work for Jews when you were a Christian. She put me and my sister into a Red Cross hospital, and she was away only 3 days. But the third day, before she came back, that dawn, Nazi officers, Hungarian Nazi officers, came to the hospital because they knew that a lot of Jewish children were there, and they rounded us up and marched us to a collection center ready to be deported. And my mother had the ingenuity to engage supposedly a doctor who was actually an actor working as a doctor in the hospital, who dressed up as a Nazi, brought our new birth certificates to this collection center, and took us out of there and saved our lives.
And everybody was lying in this whole process in order to get through it. So you're able to survive the Holocaust, survive Hitler, and then you head and have to now deal with Stalin and communism.
Yes.
And you say there are now echoes of some of that communism you see now.
Well, you know what actually terrifies me in a way is that in today's government, if somebody opens their mouth and says something against the president, they get persecuted. That is so un-American, I can't even tell you. Because one of the things about living in America, to me, is the freedom to speak out, to speak your mind. I've traveled all over the world, so I'm perfectly aware that most countries, you can't do that. I lived in Mexico, I lived in Peru. You can't open your mouth and say something bad and not get somehow persecuted, arrested, whatever. But in America, it's unheard of. I am shocked.
Yeah. Although President Trump has not persecuted people in the way that Stalin did, or
thank God.
Like that.
But some people get jailed.
Yeah, or they're being prosecuted.
Yes.
So what would you say, because part of what you did also was you survived the revolution, you came to America, and now you're speaking out. We were together at the Holocaust Museum earlier this year, as you spoke to people there about your story, sharing this idea of never forget. Why is that so important? Why is it so important for you to speak out, to keep sharing this story?
Because to me, it's very important not to allow it to happen again. I feel that if somebody comes in and says, you can't say that and you can't say that, the next step is you get arrested or in some way punished by saying the wrong thing. And by the time you look around, your freedom is gone. And I think, you know, one of the most important things in my life, because I grew up under communism, terrified of what I could not say or I had said, I would like to live in America with the freedom of being able to say whatever and not worry about what I said. And I see it happening. I see anti-Semitism rising. Jews get blamed a lot for everything. And so I have this double whammy of wanting to be able to say whatever because I'm a writer, okay? Right. And as a writer, I want to write the truth.
And that requires, in your view, other people stepping up to defend
Absolutely. You know, there was this German who wrote, and I can't quote it exactly, that, you know, you didn't speak up when this happened, you didn't speak up when that happened, when they came for me, there was nobody to speak up. Well, this is my fear, okay? If we keep quiet and we tolerate a certain amount of oppression or creating fear in people for saying things, guess where that's going? Some form of oppression, some form of taking over the government. And that, to me, is a nightmare.
Well, we can read about your story in Liar's Paradise, which is available as an ebook right now on Amazon and other places. It will be a hardcover in the next few weeks
Yes.
as well. Congratulations on the book.